Flowisdom presents When by Daniel Pink. Book summary.
When, The Scientific Secrets of Perfect Timing by Daniel H. Pink takes on the hidden science of timing and how it impacts our lives. There is solid advice here that applies all of us at work, in school, and in our leisure time. Be sure to get your own copy and consider giving one. Introduction. We all know that timing is everything, but we don't know much about timing itself. Our lives present us with a never-ending stream of when decisions. Rather than being a how to book, this is a when to book. For content, Daniel and two other researchers analyzed more than 700 studies in the fields of economics, anesthesiology, anthropology, endocrinology, chronobiology, and social psychology to unearth the hidden science of timing. Get ready for a lot of science. The hidden pattern of everyday life. This chapter focuses on our biological clocks or circadian rhythms. The research assembled here shows that about 2/3 of us are morning people, larks, while the rest are more productive later in the day, owls. There is a test here that can help you figure out which one you are. The message here for bosses and teachers is that the type of work or problems you expect workers and students to engage in should be dependent on their chronotypes and the time of day. No matter which type you are likely to experience peaks and troughs. At the end of this chapter is the First-Time Hacker's Handbook. Each chapter has its own version. Here Dan discusses when to exercise based on your goals and tips for a better morning. Afternoons and coffee spoons. The power of breaks, the promise of lunch, and the case for a modern siesta. There is a lot of research that shows that we perform worse just prior to lunch or near the end of the day. The answer is to take periodic breaks away from your desk. This is especially true for low-performing students. Breaks should involve movement and detachment from your work or study. Having conversations about non-work topics with others helps, as does walking outside. Although we often hear that breakfast is the most important meal, it is not well supported by research. There is evidence that how you do lunch can make a difference. Unfortunately, too many people eat lunch at their desks. Like other breaks, your lunch break should involve moving to somewhere else and detachment from your job. Naps are also an excellent way to ramp up productivity, but not just any nap will do. The optimum length is between 10 and 20 minutes. One way to promote this is to take caffeine in some form prior to your nap. It won't kick in for about 25 minutes, so it will help you get back in the game. Innovative companies are creating nap spaces for their employees. The Hacker's Handbook here offers advice for schools. 1. Schedule recess before lunch. 3. Don't structure recess. Let kids negotiate it themselves. 3. Include mid-morning and mid-afternoon breaks where students move about. 4. Make sure teachers get breaks too. 5. Do not deny recess as a consequence of bad behavior. Beginnings. Starting right, starting again, and starting together. When you begin can play an outsized role on how you progress and where you end. Dan starts with research that shows most secondary schools start too early to the detriment of the students. Fewer than 1 in 5 schools start at 8:30 or later. Studies show that starting later improves attendance, grades, test scores, and it even lowers car crashes. The key reason schools start early is for the convenience for the adults. When given a choice, people start things using landmarks from the calendar. The most prominent landmark is New Year's Day for resolutions, but the beginning of a month or a week is also common, as is someone's birthday. The data shows that starting a career when the economy is good gives one a better chance of higher income throughout one's career. The idea of starting together is also important. The key example here for educators are the benefits realized by programs where mothers of newborns work with nurses in their homes, starting when the baby is born. The Time Hacker's Handbook here starts with the idea of a premortem during which everyone involved tries to think of what could possibly go wrong in regard to the project in question. It also includes tips on when to go first, when not to go first, and when to get married. Midpoints. What Hanukkah candles and midlife malaise can teach us about motivation. Midpoints are important as they can bring us down or fire us up. Several studies show that people generally feel a lower level of well-being in midlife than before or after. Performance on given tasks is likely to be higher at the start and finish than in the middle. Groups are known for stepping it up midway as they can see the deadline looming. In sports, teams slightly behind at halftime are more likely to win than teams slightly ahead. The lessons here are: 1. Be aware of midpoints and don't let them remain invisible. 2. Use midpoints to wake up rather than roll over. 3. Imagine that you are behind, but only by a little. In the Time Hacker's Handbook section, Daniel advises to 1. Set interim goals by breaking large projects into smaller steps. It's like being in a long race and concentrating on getting to the next mile. 2. Make public statements about interim and long-term goals. You are more likely to stick to a goal if you announce that you are going to do it. 3. When you take a break, leave off at a point where it will be easy to pick up again. 4. Try to establish a chain of doing something every day. This can help with exercise goals. 5. If your work will benefit others, try to imagine one person who will benefit. There is also advice here to fight the midlife slump. Ending. Marathons, chocolates, and the power of poignancy. There are 4 predictable ways endings shape our behavior. 1. Energize. As one approaches the end of a task or a race, one tends to pick up the pace. Research also shows that people in the 9th year of a decade, age 29, 39, etc., are more likely to take on significant tasks like running a marathon. Even suicide rates are up for these people. Deadlines are also more likely to result in finishing something, although in the case of negotiations we don't always get the best result. 2. Encode. Endings alter our perceptions for better or worse, as this is when we evaluate entire experiences. The peak and end experiences are the ones that we remember the best. They may, however, distort our experiences. Cinching fast and slow. The secrets of group timing. Much of what we do at work, at school, and at home, we do in concert with other people. Our ability to survive and even to live depends on our capacity to coordinate with others in and across time. An outstanding example is found in the functioning of choirs where voices combine and the result transcends the sum of the parts. Note that group timing requires a boss who is above, apart, and essential. The need to belong is a fundamental human motivation. Belonging profoundly shapes our thoughts and emotions. Its absence leads to ill effects, its presence to health and satisfaction. Feelings of belonging boost job satisfaction and performance. Also, note that touching is a form of sensing. Working in harmony with others makes it more likely we'll do well. Coordinating makes us better people. At the end, Daniel provides 7 ways that you can find your cinchers high along with tips for promoting belonging to your group. Thinking in tenses. A few final words. Daniel ends by reminding us how complex time and timing are. The timing associated with nostalgia delivers a sense of meaning and a connection to others. Only humans can pre-experience the future by simulating it in our minds. When we experience awe, time slows down. Timing is important, but it is also inscrutable, not easily understood. Dan finds writing as an act of discovering what you think and what you believe. He used to believe in the value of happy endings. Now he believes that the power of endings rests not in their unmitigated sunniness, but in their poignancy and meaning. He used to believe that timing was everything. Now he believes that everything is timing. Notable quotes. If we stick with a task too long, we lose sight of the goal. If you want a happy ending, that depends, of course, on where you stop your story. ORSO, the WLDS. Afternoons are the Bermuda Triangles of our days. Across many domains, the trough represents a danger zone for productivity, ethics, and health. The leap performers have something in common. They're really good at taking breaks. If you're an educator, know that all times are not created equal. Breaks are not a sign of sloth, but a sign of strength.
This was released from For the Sake of Education by Flow Wisdom. If the content was helpful, make sure to subscribe.